Hey Bearcat fans, welcome to another edition of This Week in Bearcat Athletics. Well, the 2015 fall athletic seasons begin this week, including some home competition. We'll have more on all that coming up on This Week in Bearcat Athletics. A youth movement is in place for the Northwest Missouri State football team this year as they begin the 2015 season this week. The Cats are preparing to face soon-to-be M-Club Hall of Famer Josh Lamberson as he begins his head coaching career on the sidelines for the Nebraska Kearney Lopers Thursday. Northwest head coach Adam Dorrell says his team has worked hard getting ready, and he feels it is time for a game to learn just where his team is at and what they need to work on.
Any more practice isn't going to do us any good, I think a lot of teams at this junction are like that. It's just you've got to go play to find out what you're good at, what you're bad at, and things you need to get better at. But we're certainly excited. I'm very pleased with our kids right now, their attitude, their approach right now. I feel like we're a very hungry football team. I feel like we're a football team that feels like we have a lot to prove. With a lot of the young guys that we have that are going to play and that are in the two deep. And, I'm just excited to get started.
This year's Bearcat football team features just 9 seniors, a low number for a typical football team, and Dorrell says his team may not have a high quantity of seniors, but they do have high-quality seniors this year.
I've been very proud of them, and that's something I'm really going to highlight tonight at practice with our whole football team. Since January the 13th, those guys have done everything that I've asked them to do. We talk about are you putting in time or are you putting in work? And to me, there's a big difference. And those guys have been putting in work since January the 13th. I do feel like they're hungry. I feel like they, as a senior class, have a very unique challenge compared to some of the last senior classes we've had, where their senior year is going to come and go with young guys. And they know that, and instead of pouting about it, complaining about it, they've answered the bell. And, that's why I'm confident in our football team, because as a coach, when your team has done everything you've asked them to do, I can't ask anymore. We're going to make mistakes Thursday night. That's going to happen. We're going to make physical mistakes. We're going to make mental mistakes. But, our guys cannot have done any more than what they've done right up to this point.
The Bearcats, picked to win the MIAA again this year by both coaches and the media, will open against the University of Nebraska Kearney Thursday evening in Kearney. The Northwest Cross Country teams will be the only team hosting action this weekend, opening the season with a Bearcat Open Friday at the school's new course just west of campus. Bearcat head coach Scott Lorick says his two teams have very different experience levels headed into this year.
Our team is really coming from kind of two different directions. Our men's team is very experienced, and we've got a really good group of guys returning, and a group of guys. We had a big number of guys that we redshirted last year and are all kind of in the mix. So although we only have one senior in our whole program, it's actually a very experienced kind of veteran feeling kind of group. Our women's side is a little bit different. There's the main portion of our women's team really has to come up and prove themselves and take leadership roles and become, the good team that they're definitely capable of being. The kind of the phrase that we used at camp for a women's team is that basically we're a sleeping giant.
The new course design is entirely in a field west of campus and south of Donaldson Westside Park on Country Club Road in Maryville, and Friday's meet will begin at 6 o'clock. The Bearcat volleyball team will log the most miles to open the season. A more experienced team will be headed to Canton, Ohio for the 4 matches this weekend. They will face Malone University and Concord University on Friday before matching up against Edinboro University and Urbana University out of Ohio on Saturday. The home portion of the volleyball schedule will begin September 25th. 4 trips north will be a part of the beginning of the schedule for the Northwest women's soccer team. The Cats head to Wayne State in Nebraska to open the season Thursday before playing Sioux Falls in South Dakota on Sunday. Last year, the team was plagued with injuries, but that gave younger players a lot of experience that head coach Tracy Hosa hopes will mean an even better 2015 campaign. With very little opportunity to officially practice before the first competition, the Northwest women's golf team will travel to Olathe, Kansas Tuesday and Wednesday next week for the Central Region Fall Preview Tournament. Head coach Andy Peterson says a high level of competition next week will be a great way to start the season and learn where the team is at very early. The Northwest men's and women's tennis teams will also open the fall portion of its schedule this weekend when they travel to Emporia, Kansas to take part in the Emporia State Chicken Dinner Tournament. That's this week in Bearcat Athletics. I'm Matt Gorder.